You keep mentioning your uncle. What seems to be the problem?
In this video, I'm going to be talking about Junior Soprano.
Your uncle's had a hard-on his whole life. First against your father, his younger brother, because you was a made man before him. And now, you. Man is driven in toto by his insecurities.
You may run North Jersey, but you don't run your Uncle Junior.
You're my dad. You two ran North Jersey.
Present in all 7 seasons of The Sopranos, season 1 through season 6B. At the end of season 1, episode 4, Tony tells Junior he can have the top spot.
Sopranos have been waiting a long time to take the reins. That's why I want it to be you, Uncle June.
But who's really in charge? Tony.
Yeah, only now we got a brand new lightning rod on top to take the hits.
Junior is manipulated by Livia on multiple occasions throughout season 1.
I'm happy for you, Junior. I know how long you waited to be made boss. Just don't let certain people take advantage of your good nature like they did to Johnny.
What certain people? Nobody got over on Johnny. Nobody's gonna get over on me.
How's your Jewish friend?
He's Tony's friend, not mine. What do you got against him, anyway?
Oh, me? Nothing. If Johnny liked him. And my son thinks every word that comes out of his mouth is pure gold.
Oh, he's under enough pressure.
Yeah. I'm sure he's telling the psychiatrist it's all his mother's fault.
What are you talking about, a psychiatrist?
Yeah, a psychiatrist. He's been seeing one for a while now. God only knows what he says.
And particularly when she tells him about how Tony's meeting with Junior's capos at Green Grove.
Maybe it was you they were talking about, who knows? I just don't like being put in the middle of things.
You can avoid sentencing on these charges if you will testify that, in fact, you were not the boss of North Jersey, that, in fact, your nephew, Anthony Soprano, was and is, and you were not in the New York loop. You were positioned to take the hits, and now you've taken them.
My nephew running things? Not that Struns. Not in this life.
So on one hand, you're like, all right, Junior's not being a rat. He's staying quiet, keeping his mouth shut. Or you could say, the man is driven in toto by his insecurities, and his ego would not allow him to admit that. That he is basically just being used as a puppet, and that it's really his nephew who's running things.
Get the door.
Anthony, don't let me go to my grave with this guilt.
Junior has just fallen in the shower and hurt himself, so Tony goes over there with Bobbie and asks if he needs to go to the hospital. But Junior thinks that Tony's there to kill him, because this is just after the failed assassination attempt.
Right, hold on a minute.
I'll be okay. Give me a minute to catch my breath. Let me tell you who's not a good kid. That niece of mine. I left my brother's house one night, and my wallet was light. I'm talking about a 10-year-old girl here.
Sweet as she looks, she left my stove on purpose.
Where else are they gonna go?
I'm sick.
He was a great friend to my father, but he doesn't care who he follows now. I do him myself.
Who's that speaking here? Somebody speaking? You tell me to take a crap on the deck of the Queen Mary, an hour later they're hosing it down with disinfectant.
In season 3, Junior's diagnosed with stomach cancer, so his health issues pretty much consume the rest of his time on the show.
Flight risk. I've been farting into the same sofa cushion for the last 18 months. The RICO trial's coming up. You're going to ask my advice about Ralph Cifaretto.
Got any thoughts?
Tony does seek guidance from him from time to time.
Any day you'll have a mutiny on your hands.
So I take Gigi out. What kind of message does that send?
That you're indecisive and unsure of yourself.
Exactly.
That's what being a boss is. You steer the ship the best way you know. Sometimes it's smooth, sometimes you hit the rocks. In the meantime, you find your pleasures where you can. You want my advice? You'll call Lou DiMaggio. The Atwell Avenue boys. They may be old, my little nephew, but those dogs can still hunt.
Season 4 marks the start of Junior's trial.
I'm going to the poorhouse. That's how I'm doing. When you had that RICO trial, what did that run you?
A lot.
Where you going?
I told you, I gotta pick up Sophia.
He's on trial for his life, as he likes to remind everyone.
God damn it. Each of us is alone in the fucking universe.
There were a couple of moments in season 4 where Junior's selfishness really came through.
He needs help with those kids.
He needs help? I'm on trial for my life here.
He's gonna get through this.
When? I'm waiting like patience on a monument.
I took care of the thing.
Hand me that weight over there. I'm glad to see you back in the swing of things. All that moping around. You just gotta put it behind you. Get on with your life.
In season 4, episode 9, whoever did this, Junior's leaving the courthouse and he gets stopped by a reporter.
Listen.
Feel better.
Make sure Beppy gets my chicken home.
Corrado, you didn't get to the early bird special.
He was disoriented when he came in. Could have been working on a dementia for quite a while, and the blow to the head tipped him over.
I didn't come all this way to stop this trial now. Court will convene on Monday at 9:30 to continue proceedings.
Your Honor, please. Since his injury, I have not had a single conversation with Mr. Soprano in which we've related on any meaningful level.
When Melvoin says, Your Honor, please, since his injury, I've not had a single conversation with Mr. Soprano on which we've related on any meaningful level, I think he's being serious. On one hand, you may think he's just trying to put on a good argument for the judge, but maybe it's not just that. Maybe he's being honest. And perhaps Junior was thinking that too, when he heard Melvoin say it out loud. But there seems to be a difference in opinion over the kind of person that Junior Soprano is.
Corrado Soprano is not some harmless old man, but a ruthless and calculating mob boss who controls a vast criminal enterprise.
Yeah, right, it was Junior. Mr. Magoo.
It's like that game we used to play as kids. Crack the whip. You run around like an idiot, holding hands as tight as you can, and then the line snaps. Somebody lets go, and you're next.
This is one of my favorite Junior lines. To me, it does a great job of foreshadowing the rest of the series.
Don't you love me?
One of Junior's most famous lines is, he never had the makings of a varsity athlete.
You have any ideas?
What are you asking him for? He never even had the makings of a varsity athlete.
Your point being what, Junior?
So, Anthony, how'd you guys do against Delbon last season?
Not so good. We lost both times.
Your father never had the makings of a varsity athlete.
Well, what the...
And that's something that Tony actually brings up on his very first day of therapy with Dr. Melfi. He says that Junior told his girl cousins that he didn't have the makings of a varsity athlete and that it was a real blow to his self-esteem. In many ways, I think Junior's repetitive comment about Tony not having the makings of a varsity athlete was a form of projection. I think that Junior probably felt that way about himself.
Like The Walking Dead.
Medications like cooking, sometimes we just need to adjust the ingredients.
It's a goddamn point. Goddamn house arrest. I'm living in a grave. I beat prison, and for what? I have no children. Will somebody please explain this to me?
It's not that Junior didn't have the opportunity to be in meaningful relationships.
Oh my God. Does it hurt?
It beeps. I understand if you don't want to stay.
I enjoy you, Corrado. I always did. You stay. I'll bring food in.
Junior had been dating that woman, Bobbie, for years.
Thought we could have
But then cunnilingus and psychiatry brought us to this.
Anyway, at our age, it's enough surprise we're still alive every morning.
Melvoin? Jesus Christ, that's terrible.
When Junior tells Tony that Melvoin had a stroke, which means his retrial is going to have to be delayed by at least 9 months or so, Junior's good fortune is because of someone else's bad fortune.
Tell you this. Since he's dead, my gambling luck's done a 180.
Tony's good luck was because of someone else's bad luck. It's Junior who shot Tony at the end of Members Only, the season 6 premiere. And I don't think that he knew what he was doing by shooting Tony. But of course, as with many other things on the show, whether with Junior or even Livia, there's that gray area. Due to Junior's mental status, he's sent to a psychiatric facility, which is where he meets Carter Chong, one of my favorite and I think one of the most impactful one-episode characters of The Sopranos. And that's season 6, episode 15, Remember When. Carter reminds me of Tracy in many ways, in the sense that although he was only there for one episode, it feels like he was there for more. And he and Junior develop a special relationship, and in some ways, it's almost like he's a surrogate for Tony. I think that Junior, in some ways, is like a surrogate father for Carter, who we know had lots of struggles with his father.
To the place I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama.
But you shot me? Where your stash is, you let Uncle Pat know. Me as the head of the family, I'll hold on to it as a guardian for Bobbie's kids.
When Tony goes to visit Junior, and he tells him that if he finds his stash, he should give it to Pat, to give it to Tony, to hold on to it as a guardian for Bobbie's kids. He thinks that if it ends up in Janice's hands, she'll use it for herself or who knows what. But at the same time, how do we know that Tony wouldn't just do the same thing? We know how Tony was reckless with his money at that point. Who's to say that Tony would necessarily be concerned with making sure that Bobbie's kids get that money?
Well, that's nice.
Junior has the ability to elicit a full range of emotions in me. It can make me laugh.
They had Jesus hanging off a helicopter, but you could tell it was a dummy.
Hello?
Hugo, ¿cómo está?
Who is this?
Corrado, Soprano. I want to wish you a buona fortuna and also send you my regrets. I'd love to be at your Jubilee.
Junior. Jubilee?
But the federal government says I can't leave the house, and my family keeps me sedated.
It can make me cry. It can make me cringe. And just about everything in between.
Buscando alivio a mi dolor, yo moriré.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video about Junior Soprano. What do you think of him? I hope you enjoyed it.